Hello everyone, it's Jennifer and thank you for joining me today. We are going to be working with the Double Firepolish Beads of the Month Club, and this is for the month of October. And I apologize that I'm losing my voice, but it was a crazy weekend. So I do have an unboxing so that you can see everything in its up close in the unboxing, and I'll include that in the description. But what we're going to be working with today, so I have these three little piles here. So I have, this one's going to be on its own. So I have basically two piles and then a couple of other little sets. These I thought looked really good together, so I'm going to use those in a project for a later date in the near future. And then I have these rosebud beads, and I just thought that they went really well with these smushed rondelles and these other fire polish silver beads. And then I love these black diamond drops, and so we're going to do something really simple with those, with using ear wires from our companion pack. This little guy here is amazing. I love it, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do with him yet. This is also from the findings pack, and I did include the findings pack in my unboxing, so if you watch the unboxing you'll be able to see that there too. But today we are going to be working with these rosaline amethyst antique style, and these are 8 by 10, and they are absolutely incredible. We get 24 of them. I'm not sure how many I'm going to use, so I'm just going to go ahead and start dumping a bunch out. I'll just dump them all. I'm not going to use them all for sure, but we'll just keep them there. These have just such a fun color and shape. They have kind of that little Saturn band through the middle of them, and they're just so cute. And I want to make a bracelet using these. And what am I going to use? I'm going to use one of these antique copper plated plate finish buttons, and these are rectangle hammertone button. These are tiara cast. I love tiara cast, and I know that Adornable Elements, they will throw in tiara cast in their companion packs too. And we're going to go ahead and use one of these, and like I said, I love it. I have these in my Etsy shop too. I have them in this antique copper, and then I also have them in an oxidized brass, but we're going to go ahead and use those. I'm also going to bring in, these are as close as I can get to antique copper without it being exactly the same. I think I have another tube that is more like antique copper somewhere, but for the sake of time, I'm just going to go ahead and do it this way. And then I felt like it just blended in really well. I don't want it to be exact because I want the bracelet to have a little bit of separation or components. But what we're going to do is we are going to, this is a little bit of a spin on a Kellie's Bead Boutique bracelet where the button, we're going to use some stringy material, attach the button, and then on the other end where the button is going to attach, we're going to use the seed beads and then embellish a little bit of the end as well. So we're going to go ahead and do that too. So I'm going to go ahead and grab, and you can use whichever seed beads you want. These are, I believe, 8/0s. Yes, these are 8/0 seed beads. Okay, so I'm going to just go ahead and get some out here now because I'm going to need some at the beginning. And then what I'm using for my stringing material is this Waxed Polyester Thread. And this is the Gudebrod thread company. And I got this at Michael's, and I really love it. I've been using it for a little while now, just maybe about a month or so, and I really like it. It's very flowy, it's very easy to work with, and Danielle Wicks, she's the one that introduced this to me, and I absolutely love it. So I have about, I don't know, maybe 2.5 yards, and this color, it comes in 3 colors. It's this kind of goldish, tannish color. There's a white and there's a black. We're going to be doing some knotting, so you're going to want a pair of tweezers. I got these from Kellie, and what I love about these is they have that fine point that you're going to need when doing the knotting. So the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to attach our button. So what I want to do is thread, again, I have a ridiculously long amount, but what I want to do is I want to attach my button. So I'm just going to thread it up and over, and you'll see the button has two different, it's kind of cupped a little bit, but I'm going to have the cupping part in the inside. And you can have it on the outside if you want. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this now down to the middle. So I'm going to get my other end. My other end is here. And then I'm just going to center the button on here. And you can't see the ends because they're way over there, but I brought them together. All right, so now what I want to do is I want to do a couple of overhand knots. And I do want it secured to the button, and then we're going to add a couple of spacers in between, and then we're going to start adding these. And again, this is something that I learned from Kelly long ago, and I just do an overhand knot. So I just fold over my index finger and then my middle finger, and I just separate them out a little bit so that I can grab my finger and pull that through, just like so. So now I have this. Now what I want to do is I want to take my pliers, and I want to pass it through the loop there. And then, so I'm passing it through the loop that I just made, and then going to get that as close as I can. And so when you do that, your knot goes where the tip of your tweezers are. So now that I have that one, I want another one. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do another overhand knot and grab my thread there. And so what I'm going to do is I am going to go ahead and pass through, and then I'm going to put the tip of my tweezers right on top of that knot I'd already done. And then when I pull, it's going to sit right on top of there. So now I want it to sit kind of right next to it, because I'm going to do another one, and the other one is going to sit right on top of there, on top of the two knots. And if you have to, just pull the two strings and just go ahead and make that all nice and tight. And we're going to do one more. Do overhand knot, just like so. Bring that through. And now for this one, the tip is going to go right in between those two knots. And there we go. So right in between those two knots. And I'm going to go ahead and just pull. And then let go. And then just get that all nice and secured in there. And what I like about this 3-ply is that I can pass 2 threads through like an 8/0 seed bead, and it's not needle-like, but it's sort of, I mean, it's not as strong as a needle, but you won't be able to get a needle and 2 pieces of thread through. And I offset it just a little bit, just because I can pass that one through and then pass this one through, just like so. And I'm just going to put 2 on here. Let me grab I'm just going to put 2 on here, just like so, because how I want it to sit, it adds a little bit of length there so that this bead is not sitting on top or underneath that button. Okay, let's go ahead and thread on another one. Just like so. And then you have that where it goes all the way out to here, goes all the way out to here, and you're not going to have this first bead sitting on there. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do an overhand knot. So over my 2 fingers, pull that through. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in and I'm going to go right up against those seed beads, just like so. So I have them right up against the seed beads. And then I'm just going to go ahead and give it a pull. Pull. You can use your tweezers to push down. You can also just take your 2 ends and pull them together. And there we go. We have our little start. And I did check beforehand to make sure that these two would go through these beads, and they do, because sometimes you just have to play with it and with your stringing material to see what is going to work. And so there we go there. And there's that second one. And then when you get down to the end, you just want to make sure that they're all evened out. Okay? And I don't want it to be stiff, but I don't want a lot of movement in between the beads. So I'm just going to go ahead and do my overhand knot just like so. I'm going to go ahead and I'm placing my tweezers inside the loop I just made. And I'm placing the tweezers right on top of the bead, just like so, with the two, because you have to grab both. And then just go ahead and do that, and you can just like that too. Okay? With the glass, you probably don't want to do a lot of metal manipulating, but I mean, if you want to, you can. But you see how that, with having those spaced in there, it just adds. And so no matter how it's sitting on your, however it's sitting on your wrist, when I did this before, because this is not the first one I've made like this, it does sit kind of like that. So it's, you can maneuver your button around as you're going along. But yeah, I love this style, and I've made them before, and of course I'm never using the same size bead, so I don't have a good, I don't know how you'd say it, like a good recipe as far as how many beads, and I could probably do the math to figure it out. However, though, I just go ahead and eyeball it as I'm going along. Okay, and let's go ahead and get that, and then go ahead and tighten it up. Isn't that pretty? And with using this color, it just, I don't know, it just does something to it. And then I love using this copper. But again, I am such a Delicas fan. All right, let's go ahead. And so when I saw that Adornable Elements and their findings packs use Delicas too, I was so happy, because then I knew I was going to be getting more Delicas. Go ahead and add that to the end there, just like so. Make sure you have that nice and pulled. And go ahead and pull those two together. The good thing about pulling them, just like how I did, like when you're tying a knot, the good thing about that is that now I know that my two strands are even, and that the knot is even. You know, sometimes you'll have like a little bit of a bulk out of one side. At least I have, because I've had some terrible knots before. And yeah, using the tweezers is such a big help. And then, you know, when you learn how to do it right, go ahead and overhand, and then grab that, bring that through, add your tweezers, just like so, and pull. What had me decide to go ahead and do this again for this bracelet and for these beads was I was on Pinterest, and I was looking for recipes, and because I find recipes on Pinterest all the time, but of course everything always goes to jewelry, right? And there was a bracelet that was very similar, but not really to this one, but it reminded me of it. And sometimes when I find something that I like on Pinterest, I don't necessarily do it exactly the way it's done there. I will kind of tweak it a little bit. And so it just reminded me about this style, and I thought, I need one for this weekend. So I'm gonna go ahead and make one. And then, so when I went to go make it, when I went to go put everything out, I was like, oh wait, I need to record. Let's record. Okay, so I'm just gonna keep on moving along here. And when I get to the end, when I'm ready to start adding like the connection, maybe the connection, is that what it is? The connection piece of it.
I will go ahead and I will come back. Again, I'm just making sure that I have both strands in my tweezers. I keep on wanting to call them pliers. And then just pull. So we are just trucking right along. So I will come back when I'm almost done. Okay, so I'm back and I have it to where my length that I want it. And so it ended up being, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. And I have a fairly large wrist already. And then I do want it to kind of, not dangle, but I don't want it to be so skin tight on me. So now, and I did cut off, I probably had an extra foot. So you could probably cut out a foot from the 2.5 yards I told you. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead now and I'm going to thread on each side some seed beads so that I can create like a little bit of a closure. We're going to do some more knots and then we're going to add a few seed beads for embellishment. So we're going to go ahead and do this here. And again, I cannot take credit for any of this. This is all Kellie. I don't know where she got it from, so I'm just going to say her. And then go from there. And then plus, I did see it on Pinterest too. I just can't remember who it was. Oh my goodness. Let's go ahead and do that. Get that. See how easy? It's very easy. It's easy for them to fall off too. I just wasn't good enough here. All right. So when we are thinking about how wide we need to make this or how long we need to make it, it needs to at least fit the button. So, and these are glass, so you don't want something that you're going to have to shove the button in. So let's see here. How many do we have? 2, 4, 6, 7. So we use 7. So I'm going to go ahead and use 7 on this side. And then we will test it out. So let's go ahead and get 1, 2. Again, I'm making this look a lot more difficult than what it is. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then we'll test it out. And because what we're going to do is we're going to bring these together and tie a knot just like so. I actually feel like, yeah, no, I guess that's good. But I'm going to go ahead and just test it out. And when I test this out, I think I need 1 more on each side. So I'm going to go ahead and do 1 more on each side. Go 1. 1 more on that side and 1 more on this side. And I'm a fan of testing more than once, cutting, or yeah, multiple tests, cut once. Okay, so I'm just going to bring those together how they would sit. And go ahead and pass that through. And that feels a lot better, but I feel like I need another one. Because I'm going to tie the knot, it's going to probably bunch it up a little bit more. So let's go ahead and add 1 to there. So then it ends up being what, 9 8/0s. All right, let's go ahead and give it another little check because we're going to put a knot here, and so it's going to kind of bunch up a little bit like so. And much better, much better. I like that fit. Though, I don't know, maybe, let me just do this and just try it again. No, you know what? I think the 8 is going to work. So let's just go ahead and do that. We're going to go ahead and tie our overhand knot. And I didn't leave a whole lot for me here, but we'll make it work. And then, of course, my fingers are all in the way. And you just want to make sure you have your tweezers on both. And I've kind of really messed that up because I'm trying to show you too. But okay, so I have tweezers on both. Okay, go ahead and pull. Make sure you're not all messed up how like I am. And then go ahead and do that. And go ahead and give it your little, and so you have your little closure here. And again, I don't want it to be snug, but I also don't want it to be so loose. And so that's what we have there. And so it shows a little bit, and you like that. I mean, it just adds a little bit of something, right? So let's go ahead and take that off.
I'm glad I did not add that other bead. Okay, let's go ahead and give it another nice big squeeze there. There, I like that. All right, so now let's go ahead and do another overhand knot and bring that through. Guess I should have left a little bit longer for demonstration. Then go ahead and add the tip of my tweezers on there, and then just sit that right on top. So that one sits right on top, because I'm only going to do 2 knots on this side. The other one I did 3. So now we have that, right? And you can add some GS Hypo. You can also add this fabric fusion, and this is permanent fabric adhesion. So that's probably what I'm going to do afterwards. I won't do that on camera, but I will just take like a scrap piece of metal. So I have a little scrap piece of something here, and I'll just add that in. Now what we're going to do is let's go ahead and add a couple embellishments. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put 3 on each side. Okay. And I don't want them sitting right up against it, so I'm going to do my knotting down here. So let's go ahead and do an overhand. And the thing about using the tweezers is that you can put it where you want it. So I'm going to put that right there, and so it's going to hang a little bit like so. Maybe I'll come in just a tad more. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and give it there and pull. Then I'm going to do another one, and you will want to put that adhesive or that fabric adhesive or your GS Hypo. I'm going to come in right on top of that knot, just like so, and go ahead and go ahead and get that right on top of there. Okay, and again, I'm going to do another one. See how it's just sitting right on top? So I'm going to do another one just for some extra added security to bulk that up so that I know that my seed beads are not going to come back through. I'm going to go ahead and sit this on top of that double knot already. Okay, and then just give that a little bit of a pull. Make sure it goes right on there because it's wanting to kind of go around. There we go. And then again, you can just add your fabric adhesive or GS Hypo. Okay, go ahead and just trim off the end. And if you want to, since this is 3-ply, you can fringe that out too. So now let's go ahead and do the other side. And we're going to add 3. So we're going to add 1, 2, and 3. Okay. And I am going to have my knot be maybe a little bit lower, like closer to the end. So I'm going to come in, so here's that right there. I'm going to go ahead and come in a little bit like out here. Just a little bit longer. Oops, I got to go through the loop though. Go through the loop and go ahead and pull. Okay, give that a little bit of a squeeze there, or pull. Go ahead and go overhand again. Okay, I'm going to sit this on top of that knot that I already did, and then pull. And then get that right on top of there. Okay, then we're going to do one more. And sit that on top. Get it all nice and bulked up. And if you need to do more, do more. There's no law that says you have to do 3. You could do as many as you want. Okay, then we're going to go ahead and just trim that off. And like I said, I will go ahead, so it gives a little bit of embellishment. I will go ahead and I'm going to add some of this fabric fusion to the ends here and here. And I might add some up here too. It does dry clear, so you're not going to see it. And there we have it. We have our gorgeous little bracelet using the Fire Polish Beads of the Month Club from Adornable Elements, and using a button from Delicas that I just absolutely love. Like I said, I have it in my shop. Do check out the Beads of the Month Club, their subscription options. They have so many to choose from. Be sure to give this video a huge thumbs up if you like it. Also too, comment. I'd love to see what everybody has to say, and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. I have a couple more projects that I'll be using this Beads of the Month Club for October. And until next time, have a good one.